Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure that everybody knows what Valais is, where Valais is located in Switzerland, and maybe once you see the first picture is you understand that Valais is, to be exact, at the exact same place where the Matterhorn is, the nicest mountain of the Alps. For some people coming from Switzerland, it might be a bit strange to wonder, well, why is somebody from the Valais State coming here to speak in such a high-level, high-tech environment about Valais. Valais is not known for that. Valais is known maybe for some of their agricultural product. We do the best wine in Switzerland, of course, and also for tourism activities. I'm in charge of tourism as well. But in fact, there are a lot of things that are happening right now in Valais, which might also pinpoint some of the things that you will think it's an interesting thing and something to actually analyze and find out where what can be done with us in our region. State of Valais itself, where is it located? It's south of Switzerland, between the two most famous mountains in Europe, the Mont Blanc in the west, the Matterhorn on the east. Basically, Sion, the capital of Valais, is 90 minutes from both Chamonix and Zermatt, and also very close, of course, to all Switzerland, but as well as Milano, for instance, which is just 2 hours and 30 minutes from the region. Population by country, while Switzerland is small, Valais is much smaller. We have 370 inhabitants, of which a little bit like 52% are actually active people. That's why, by the way, we have a very bad ranking in Switzerland, Valais, as with a GPT per inhabitant. That's because we have a lot of inhabitants that are not active anymore because it's the best place, it's seen as the best place for a lot of Swiss to actually retire. So that brings us very, very low in the ranking. But if you take the ranking of active population per inhabitants, we're sort of good. And my objective here is also to make sure that you as professors that are making research everywhere in Switzerland, you might consider also Valais as a place to do some research prior to retiring, not only for retiring. So that's also one of the objective. Um, the energy state, what is the conditions we have and what is the policy we have in Valais in terms of energy? Well, you should know that we are a large producer of hydroelectricity. You see to the bottom right, we have 160 hydroelectricity electric power station in the canton with an annual production of 10 billion kilowatt per hours. Of course, we're in the middle of the Alps, so we have a lot of water. Switzerland itself has 6% of Europe's freshwater resources, and that's why hydroelectricity has developed a lot. That's also why a lot of industry that were high consumer of electricity moved to Valais in the fine chemicals industry, aluminum production industry, and this is why industry is actually the large contributor to our GDP, much larger than, of course, agriculture and tourism. Complementary to hydroelectricity, we have also some solar energy potential. You have to know that Valais has 300 days per year of sun. It's the highest rate of daily sun average availability, or yeah, beautiful weather that makes it so interesting for energy, and also some wind power with the Rhone Valley, which is interesting to locate actually wind power production facilities. The objective of the canton of Valais is to contribute to the neutral zero objective by 2050 that the Confederation has set up. For that, we plan on making more hydraulic energy production, on also working on the consumption, and that is by helping renovate and improve the buildings' consumption of energy, and also through the use of electric cars and the reduced energy consumption by the several factories and industrial production activities that we have in the region. That is why Among those objectives that was set in the agenda of the canton for sustainable development, energy efficiency and energy independence are part of it. You have to know that previously the canton itself was not a directly owner of the production facility, hydro production facility. It's the objective now that we have to renew concessions that were granted to former production companies, that we actually get back a part of the production facility, so that the Valais canton itself, through its own company, became one of the main producer of hydroelectricity. This is also a way to go into the next stages, which is basically our objective to further build what I would call the value chain of energy in the canton, so that not only we do have production facilities, but we also will have a lot of different qualification, different knowledge that we can have in the value chain of energy production. You see here some of the expertise that you already find in the region and that we want to further develop in the region. We have, for instance, in terms of energy efficiency of industrial process, the firm Novelis, who is, well, one of the world leader in aluminum production of high level aluminum products, had decided to use electrical pusher furnace to save CO2 emissions. And that's one of the goals, to have this factory of Novelis in Sierre, that is the state-of-the-art factory with the less possible emissions, CO2 emissions, and to act as a leader in its own company group, so that people can come in Valais and inspire themselves what can be done in terms of production. We also have other competencies in hydroelectricity that we developed, but I don't have time today to actually talk about it. CCUS was mentioned before. Carbon capture at the source is something that is being developed thanks to the presence in the canton of the EPFL, and also of a couple of startups that were highlighted yesterday, that probably will be highlighted a bit later on, and that are companies that actually do, for instance, carbon capture at the source, which also is something that is being done in collaboration with companies that are set up in the region. What is the objective on this investment in the energy value chain? Well, we rely for that on the presence of high-end, high top of the world experts in the field, and of course with the presence in Valais for a little bit more than 10 years of the EPFL Valais, who is doing scientific research and innovation in the field of energy in particular, but not only. EPFL has 17 laboratories with people from 40 nationalities that are present on the campus in Sion. We also have the University of Applied Science Valais, which is part of the HESO Western Switzerland, which is present on the same place. And together they form quite a large number of persons working, of scientifics working on site here in Sion. This is the capital of Valais, and the buildings you have to the right here are the buildings where the campuses are located. And together with that, we have a foundation that we created together with several cities that are located in Valais, to actually support the creation of startup and the expansion of startup through also investment. We have our own investment fund that we use to support the initial step of startup creation, and of course to follow and accompany the companies, not only with financing, but also by making the right contacts with all the networked environment we do have around Valais, especially in Switzerland, of course, through Switzerland Innovation Park West, for instance, and also with, of course, all the other research institute we have in the canton. Thanks to this engagement, we were able also to get some highlights. One of them is that one of startup that was created in Sion has actually become a prize that was last year. It was a startup named Depoly from Miss Samantha Anderson, working on polymer recycling, peat recycling. Samantha is actually in that the little picture here on the top, on the middle left, because this year she obtained the second prize, so that shows still that the startup is still very well perceived and very well supported. And to us, from a canton like Valais, to see a company born in a canton reach this level of achievement at the Swiss level is really a good sign and shows that we're on the right track. Samantha is a bit our Heidi of this of this time, and and I think this is something that is really appreciated in the region. One thing I wanted to mention also is why are we able to actually bring those companies and bring the whole ecosystem to a new level is because we have all the different actors in the field that are really working closely together to make this happen. It's a question of close contact with companies, willingness to exchange, willingness to work also on cross-sector fields, on cross-sector projects, so that basically everyone is involved. And the other thing that really needs to be mentioned here is the quality of our dual formation system with people that do some apprenticeship. When they are 14, they're going into companies, they working directly, working in the labs and learning how to actually do the things back on the ground. And with people doing some research at a higher level, we cover the whole needs that companies might have. And that is really a system that has developed and has shown its performance worldwide. A couple of success story. I'll be short on that. You have on the left side Mobiflight, who is developing hydrofoil boats using electricity with batteries. They are not in the hydrogen sector. There is another very promising startup here that will be presented later on doing something similar, but it's always important to have many options. I would like to focus a little bit on H55, which is a company that has developed in Valais in the field of electric aviation. And they were the first one to actually get to a certain level of certification of the whole process for their battery and electricity use in planes. And this is the first company that has been doing that. It shows the capacity of Swiss companies to actually master the production, master their process so that they can get to the level where they reach the higher level of certifications. Of course, we're not talking about jet planes here, like Matthias was speaking about a little bit earlier. But still, there are a lot of needs in a small flight, small planes, to actually come and be full electric. And H55 is actually a leader in this field. We do have other startups that could be mentioned here. Depoly, I talked about Samantha Anderson previously. We have Watt Anywhere, which is developing a fuel cell-based generator that use actually ethanol to convert it into electricity. Divea is the one that is actually doing some carbon capture with graphene membranes, really were at the source of emission of carbon, and also Imperix, which is a company working on power electronics and that has developed very well in the last 10 years. All those companies are issued from research being done at EPFL. And to finish, I just wanted to show a quick movie about what has happened recently in Valais. It's a company that actually is based in Payerne, so that is in western Switzerland, but that uses Valais to actually test and try to reach. And what they did actually is a possibility with an electrical with a solar plane to actually reach the highest altitude, and that was 9,500 meters. That was performed this summer in the Valley sky, and I think it's the right thing to show to finish my intervention. Hopefully, if it works, I have some time left, so that should be all right.
Actually, it works. Just a second.
That was great. Yeah,
We tested it actually. Yeah, tested once.
there's 1 minute 15 left, so that's fine.
Yeah. It's good in time, really.
What's in there?
Back. Yes. Actually, it was here. We should have downloaded it. You see. Yeah.
Maybe in the small screen.
Anyway, I invite you to Unten links.
No, there's good.
Anyway, there are 37 minutes left. What I invite you is actually to look on the side of Solar Stratos. And what's interesting with this movie is that you can first see what they broke as altitude record, and second enjoy that this is done on the in the Valais sky, which is of course always enjoyable because it's always almost blue sky and the way to have a good view from the earth down there. So you still have a good picture here. I thank you for your attention.